There are indeed many ways to completely kill the Tianquan Kingdom Lord. Luo Feng's knowledge now exceeds that of his teacher, sitting mountain guest. Some of it is the secrets told by Emperor Chu, and some is learned from the 4 special inheritances. Although it is only the special inheritance of the first level of God King, it does provide vague guidance for the later stages of the journey. For me, there are 3 most likely ways to kill the Tianquan Kingdom Lord. The first one is when the spiritual will reaches the level of beyond the God King. With the help of the Lai Yuan technique, it can almost sweep away the will of the God King level. Luo Feng thought, but this path is extremely difficult. From the will of the first level God King to the will of the ultimate level God King, they are still considered to be the entire God King level. They are all slowly improving and cannot be considered qualitative changes. A big leap, that's a qualitative change. When Luo Feng was a true god in the primordial universe, he already had the peak will of the chaos realm. After arriving at the continent of origin, his spiritual will had only made one major leap, from the will of the chaos realm to the will of the God King. According to the information given by Master, in the entire origin continent at this time, there are only 3 people whose spiritual will have surpassed the level of God King: Emperor Qing, the Lord of 10,000 worlds, and Emperor Ming. The ancestors of the 2 ancient nations and the East Pole territory were all powerful men from previous eras. In this era, there are only these 3. Emperor Qing and the Lord of the 10,000 worlds both comprehend a complete origin Tao before their spiritual will broke through to the level beyond the God King. Emperor Ming used the chaotic origin bloodline to cultivate into an ultimate realm life form, and he has not yet comprehended the great Tao. The improvement of Tao is an all-round improvement. If you can see through the essence of everything in the world, your mind and will naturally be extremely powerful. According to Master, the defensive weapons of the God King and above are generally effective in blocking attacks of will. Ultimate life forms are self-perfected and have a small blocking effect. When the emperors and monarchs face the Emperor Ming, at best, their strength will be greatly damaged, and at worst, they will lose control. A secret weapon that can block attacks of will is extremely precious, and Master doesn't even have it. Luo Feng secretly sighed. When he carefully studied the Star Tower, he discovered that the Star Tower had the ability to hinder attacks by will. This road is difficult, but once I succeed, there won't be many people on the origin continent who can rival me. The second method is to master the complete origin of life. By then, the control over life will reach an incredible level, and in an instant, all the resurrection carriers of the Tianquan Kingdom Lord will be cut off, so that he will not have time to reincarnate. Every avenue will have many flaws in the early stages, but once you have mastered the entire avenue, there will be no obvious flaws. For example, the origin of life is weak in killing in the early stage, but the complete origin Tao of life is simply the embodiment of the concept of life in the origin world, and can even directly deprive the opponent of his life. The same is true for other paths. When they reach the ultimate, they become perfect and naturally incredible. The third method is to destroy the special inheritance of the origin of the great Tao and reach the peak of the second level of the God King. Then you will have the hope of fighting against the Emperor and the monarchs. With one thought, you can kill all the countless clones and resurrection carriers of the enemy. Morosa can now curse kill. If he could reach the second level of God King and practice a special inherited killing move, Luo Feng felt that it would be enough to deal with the Tianquan Kingdom Lord. 3 roads, take your time. Luo Feng sensed his own spiritual will. When he was in the Chaos Realm, he was already the ultimate will of the God King. After that, his practice improved more slowly, and he comprehended the world life form and nourished his spiritual will. After becoming the God King, the soul becomes stronger, and it is also beneficial to the spiritual will. After comprehending all the 6 branches of life, Luo Feng had a deeper understanding of life, and his spiritual will seem to be full of endless vitality and resilience. The spiritual will has reached the bottleneck of the ultimate God King and cannot be improved any further. Luo Feng felt that even if he practiced the mind-refining method of Lai Yuan technique, he could not improve it at all. Completely capped, it was like a natural barrier blocking him. The Book of Lai Yuan technique records many methods of cultivating the mind. I mainly used the Great Destruction heart-refining method. The effect of this method of cultivating the mind depends on my level of the great Tao of the origin of destruction. Now, I am focusing on the practice of the great Tao of destruction. A secret method emerged in Luo Feng's mind. This is a secret method recorded in the special inheritance Chaos Whole Beast Body. which was originally a combat secret method to cooperate with the Chaos Whole Beast body. But Luo Feng has a stronger world life form, so there is no need to comprehend the Chaos Whole Beast body. This secret combat technique was called Six Strike of Chaos Whole. Each strike was a combination of the 6 branches of the Great Tao of Destruction. When combined with a super strong physical body, it was extremely powerful. This 6 strikes of Chaos Whole, each strike is a combination of 6 major branches. The difficulty is comparable to the comprehension of the 10 Directions world form. As long as I can comprehend one of them, I will have a killer move. Luo Feng was looking forward to it. The power of any of these 6 strikes is greater than the first 3 strikes of 72 Blade of Annihilation. Luo Feng can be considered to have no weaknesses if he uses the world life form to perform such a trick. Time passed, and 3 epochs passed in the blink of an eye. Fengzhang City. Jiang Yunu restrained his breath, hid his appearance, and returned to his ancestral land. Fengzhang City. Jiang Yunu looked at this familiar city, the place where she grew up, but felt a little timid. She quietly came to her own residence and just sent a message to her father. Soon the door of the cave opened. "Why are you back?" Zhang's father stood at the door of the cave, with anger in his eyes. "Didn't I tell you not to come back a long time ago? This is my ancestral land. I want to come back and take a look." Jiang Yunu said to his father. "You think our lineage is not embarrassing enough?" Zhang's father was furious. "You are with Ma Yu Qingyan, and you are also a disciple of the Polu God King. The family attaches great importance to our lineage and gives us resources, status, and power. Many of our clans have a much better life. But what about you? What did you do?" Zhang's father was angry. "You separated from Ma Yu Qingyan, offended the Luo He God King, and were driven down the mountain by the Polv God King. Such a great opportunity, but you messed it up." The ancestors of the family were furious and took back all the power of our lineage. "It's worse than when you were not with Ma Yu Qingyan. Our lineage can't get involved in important family affairs at all. This lineage has completely declined, even more so than before you and Ma Yu Qingyan were together. It's all because of you." Zhang's father stared at her. "As your father, do you think I have an easy life? I can tell you that I have already applied to the family and will soon move out of the ancestral land." "Migrate out? Wouldn't that mean being completely marginalized?" Jiang Yunu couldn't help but say. "Aren't you marginalized now? And you're still suffering from this evil." Zhang's father was angry. "You should leave quickly. If you are discovered by our clan, some of your family elders might take action. In their lineage, there are more than 10 eternal true gods, as well as a large number of void true gods and true gods. Before, it was considered a normal lineage of the family, but now it has been marginalized because of the anger of the family ancestor." "I'll leave now." Jiang Yunu said nothing more. Zhang's father looked at his daughter's leaving figure and shook his head slightly. Perhaps because he grew up in a royal family and his father was the eternal true god of the royal family, his life was too good. Jiang Yunu was expelled from the mountain and could never return to the mountain without the order of the Pole God King. But at least she still had the title of God King's direct disciple, so no local forces would bully her in any city of Flame Wind ancient kingdom. She wandered around, and in the blink of an eye, several centuries had passed. After many twists and turns, she came to Xiangjie City again. The pride in her bones made her endure until now and come here. She sat on a pavilion, looking at the street in the distance, waiting silently. Finally, she waited for it. Ma Yu Qingyan rode a Chaos Realm beast, followed by a group of guards, flying through the sky. Since Yuan reached the Chaos Realm, the management of Xiangjie City has been completely handed over to Ma Yu Qingyan. Not only that, the Ma Yu family also has a great influence within the 20 chaos states surrounding Huyang City. "Qingyan." Jiang Yunu suddenly stood up and spoke quickly. Ma Yu Qingyan turned around and saw Jiang Yunu. After all, she was his ex-wife. He immediately rode the strange beast to the vicinity of the restaurant and then went upstairs alone. Inside the pavilion. "Why did you come to Xiangjie City?" Ma Yu Qingyan looked at her. Jiang Yunu said, "Qingyan, I know I have made too many mistakes. No need to say more." Ma Yu Qingyan shook his head, but didn't want to listen. "I came here this time just to ask you. Can we go back to the way we were before? If you refuse, I will leave immediately and never appear in front of you again." Jiang Yunu looked at Ma Yu Qingyan. Ma Yu Qingyan looked at Jiang Yunu deeply and said, "Let's stop here." After saying that, Ma Yu Qingyan turned around and left. Jiang Yunu stood there in a daze. Her inner pride prevented her from saying anything and trying to persuade Ma Yu Qingyan to leave. She just watched Ma Yu Qingyan leave. She knew it was all over. Mayu Qingyan sat on the back of a Chaos Realm beast and returned with his personal guards. He looked expressionless, but he actually felt extremely uncomfortable. He cares about that relationship very much, and it is his only love. But he knew it very well in his heart. When she went to Mount Polu, she didn't even want an incarnation of divine power to stay at home with me. I knew. Compared to her future, I was nothing. It was useless for Mayu Qingyan to go to Mount Polu in person to ask her to come back. At that moment, he decided to let go. Goodbye, never again. Mayu Qingyan now only wants to concentrate on practicing under the guidance of his two masters. Time flies, and 12 epochs passed in the blink of an eye when Luo Feng became the God King. One of the floors in the Star Tower. Luo Feng in silver clothes stood there and lightly tapped his finger. Boom. A little light appeared where the finger touched, extremely dazzling and brilliant. This little light burst out with incredible power, instantly destroying all directions, sweeping away destruction. The power swept across the entire first floor of the Star Tower, and the entire floor was rumbling. I finally figured it out. Luo Feng smiled. After becoming the God King, the speed of his soul's thinking was more than 10 times faster than before. It took Luo Feng 12 epochs to realize one of the 6 strike of mixed whole. Luo Feng's mind naturally emerged with the complete branches of the sky-splitting lineage, and then it naturally touched upon the dark sky lineage, the chaos sky lineage, and other branches, which he comprehended one after another as if it were a natural progression.